Sailors sitting on an empty Boston harbor talking. The date is 1774.
Isn't it terrible we can't work and earn a living because the port is closed?
Yes, these coercive acts are just so intolerable.
Right? The governor appoints all of his officials who know how ethical they are because of the so-called Justice Acts. You could testify against officials even if they are a murderer. We wouldn't be able to pay to go to Britain for the trial. We can't even have our own town meetings anymore, except for once every year, and all too often it's too late to solve many of the problems.
The Boston Port Acts are just so that we can get enough money to compensate for the tea dumped into the harbor by the so-called Sons of Liberty and several deranged townspeople. It's nothing personal.
Then explain the Quartering Act.
The Quartering Act is so that our soldiers can have somewhere to stay. It's only when there is no space in the barracks or hotels that it's put into effect.
Wow, how unlikely that a rather new and growing colony would have the space for a lot of people at once. I guess we could just build new houses because that's so easy and so cheap.
Let's start a petition to keep British soldiers out of our homes.
Because that will totally work. The British are such great listeners and they adore us.
You colonists need to be disciplined. You are disobeying the great king by smuggling goods and dropping tea into the harbor.
Don't you understand? We're trying to tell you something. We don't want to be taxed to pay for things that aren't our concern. To make it worse, we have no representation in the matter at all.
It was either master them totally or leave them to themselves, as our King George III wisely said. We couldn't have you colonists running off with the land we have rightfully won. You're not being civil about the issue either. Samuel Adams could have been smart about this whole thing. Instead, he and the Sons of Liberty wasted over 40 tons of tea that will take years to pay for.
How dare you insult our leaders?
Your rebel forces are weak. Great Britain will simply stifle them with her superior army.